Hey guys, Josh here. Now I have played just about every Soulsborne entry in the FromSoft library, and I can honestly say that there is a ton of wasted potential in the games that fans would kill to see made. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Here's what I think the next Soulsborne games should be. Welcome to the Game Cave. So a big problem that I have with the Soulsborne style of storytelling is that it doesn't really exist for the most part. We get lore and a vague plot thread that doesn't exist for 90% of the game. Yet we love the gameplay and challenge enough to essentially ignore the fact that the game is practically devoid of context. You're given a small amount of explanation at the start, and that's good enough. The game yells, "We'll update you at the middle and the end, stupid." And we're like, "You got it, where's my sword?" And then we venture forth into Lordran, the Undead Burg, Cthulhu's nether regions, or wherever the devs decide that we need to be. And that's kind of it. Honestly, it kind of reminds me of old NES games.
Hang on just a second.
Now that I think about it, Dark Souls games are just spiritual successors to old NES games. They're hard as hell, all gameplay, little to no story except a little here and there to remind you of what you're playing for, and the controls are kind of clunky most of the time. At any rate, the goal of these games is not the story, barely the gameplay, and for certain, not the main character. No. It's the lore. That sweet, sweet, juicy Dark Souls lore. Written like it was meant to be a master's thesis on every boss, side character, or random set piece. And oh my god, did these guys get A pluses from anyone that has ever taken the time to learn it. Shoutouts to Vati Vidya because I'm way too lazy. That all being said, what if FromSoft took just a handful of the boss lores that they have just literally lying around and make some games out of them? Could you imagine playing a game as a god in Gwyn's army versus the dragons? Sounds pretty awesome. Now, I could probably list off 90% of bosses and their game would be amazing. But for the sake of time, I'll pick 5 and give my thoughts on what their game would be like. Here we go. Now, obviously, as I stated, you could play as a god in Gwyn's army. Or maybe you could play as one of his 4 knights. Ornstein, Artorias, Go, Gao, Guff, and Siran? In Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, they have you play the game as 3 different characters. Now, you're essentially playing the game 3 different times, so it's a little bit shorter, but you learn different parts of the story for each person that you play as, culminating in a large battle at the end where you learn the full story with all 3 characters. You could very easily do something like that here, where you just play as each individual knight. Each knight alone has such a rich lore that this could potentially be a blockbuster of story and action. The second game idea deals with Knight Artorias. It would be a Dead Space style game where you play as Artorias fighting against the Abyss, obviously. However, as you progress through the game, various people betray you and you have to kill people that are close to you as you get deeper and deeper into the Abyss. Until near the end of the game where it's finally revealed that you were actually being consumed by the Abyss the entire time and murdered all those people in cold blood. King Vendrick. Oh my god, what a story. A man with the power to change the world, the power to succeed the flame, the power to stall the curse, led down a dark path by the Abyss. A kingdom building RPG where you spend most of the time building up your kingdom. And just as you are about to realize your final aspiration, it's revealed that your queen, the one that aided you in this task, was just using you. Then the game shifts to you making moves to prevent her from getting the power, until you finally remove your armor in a solemn scene and allow yourself to turn hollow because this stall tactic is all that you can do, and entrust everything to a potential future heir. The Bed of Chaos, Witch of Izalith, Demon Fire Sage. In an Atelier-style game, you would be venturing around looking for ingredients for spells and alchemy in an attempt to recreate the first flame, discovering new pyromancy and leveling up along the way, gaining power and strength, all fooling yourself, thinking that you're getting closer to success. The final realization, of course, being that you've created the Bed of Chaos.
Oops.
Slave, Knight, Gale. Quite possibly the best, worst, saddest, most hardcore, epic, and whatever else tale in all of Dark Souls. I mean, my God, this guy lives through everything, sees it all go down over and over again, sees the world bend, break, distort, and never once falters in his mission to gain the blood of the Dark Soul, stretching out to the end of time, when the world is gone, in order to achieve victory despite losing himself and his life in the process. Respect. An RPG in the style of Dragon Quest V, wherein you play as Gale and complete tasks in order to reach your goal. And before you can succeed, it's ripped away from you, and you have to wait until the next age to try again. And wait you do. Many, many times. So, a lot of these games will likely have dark endings. But hey, that's Dark Souls. Even when you win, you lose. You want Disney? Go find Disney. It's out there. But for those of us that like tragedy, because just sometimes we don't want to see sunshine and rainbows. I mean, so many great stories are tragic. Romeo and Juliet, Lord of the Flies, Infinity War. But hey, if you liked or didn't like any of my ideas, comment down below. And remember to like, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell, because I might just have more ideas in the future. Also, if you want to see some gameplay or just chat, my wife and I play games on our Twitch channel every weekday, 3 to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Link in the description down below. Hope to see you there.